You're listening to Snippets from the Summit with your host, Scott McKay.
All right, how's it going, gentlemen? This is your main man, Scott McKay, coming at you again with another Snippet from the Summit as part of the Mountaintop Podcast from X and Y Communications. Today, we're going to clear up a very common misconception in the world of attracting women that was brought up again in a YouTube comment just a couple weeks ago. And so what this particular mini episode is going to do is tie up some loose ends that surround the whole idea of making a woman feel safe and comfortable, and how that is indeed the primary catalyst for sexual attraction when you're a masculine man, and you're masculine in the way women define it. So the pushback against me saying such things like that out loud was, to paraphrase, kind of as follows. Well, you know what? Lots of women are happy to be around me. They don't want me to go anywhere. They don't kick me out, but they're not really particularly sexually attracted to me. As a matter of fact, they all kind of just put me in the friend zone. But listen, they feel safe around me. Nobody's scared. So you know what? Your whole theory about making women feel safe and comfortable as a catalyst for sexual attraction is kind of fatally flawed. As a matter of fact, it isn't really true at all. All right. Imagine this. Imagine you're a woman and you want to get a watchdog to protect your apartment or to keep potential predators at bay. Anything that goes bump in the night, your watchdog can protect you from it. So you go out and you get a Doberman or a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler or, God forbid, some sort of pit bull. The dog loves the woman, his owner, right? He's by your side. You know, she's the hand who feeds him. So, he's going to be pretty good to her. But man, if an intruder ever comes in the middle of the night, he's going to rip its throat out violently. No woman has ever gotten a Yorkshire Terrier to be that dog in her life. The Yorkshire Terrier is merely a lap dog. The Yorkshire Terrier is cute. The Yorkshire Terrier is a curiosity. The Yorkshire Terrier makes her smile, but that Yorkshire Terrier is no watchdog. I mean, it's better known as a Yorkie than a Yorkshire Terrier anyway, right? So that says a lot. Gentlemen, the difference between being a man who turns women on as a man who makes women feel safe and comfortable and a man who women simply feel safe and comfortable around is the difference between the German Shepherd, Doberman, Rottweiler, or Pit Bull and that Yorkshire Terrier. And gentlemen, you do not want to be a Yorkshire Terrier amongst men, or else you're going to remain utterly and eternally confused whenever I utter words like masculine men cause women to feel safe and comfortable in their presence, and therefore women are turned on by it. So notice carefully how I word the idea of making a woman feel safe and comfortable in your presence, compared to a guy complaining out loud in response, yeah, but women feel safe and comfortable around me. They don't feel scared or anything. Okay. What we're talking about here is the difference between harmless and being a provider and a protector. The harmless guy poses no threat to nothing or nobody. He simply is sort of there. He can be friendly. He can crack a joke. He can be a shoulder to cry on. He's certainly not going to hurt any woman. He doesn't mean any woman any harm. But then again, that's all he's good for, is simply existing. In contrast, it's the man who can actively cause women to feel safe and comfortable because of who he is, because of how he proacts, because of the nature of the environment and how the mood changes immediately when he walks into the room, because he's a man who, whenever crisis is afoot, he is the man with a plan instead of losing his mind like the other wussies in the room. He's the guy who can deliver women in particular from feeling fear, from feeling shame, from feeling guilt, from feeling unpleasant emotions. A man who is sexually attractive to women is a man who causes women to feel safe and comfortable, not simply avoids making them feel uncomfortable. See the major difference there? Being put in the just be harmless zone is perhaps arguably worse than being put in the just be friend zone, because you bring absolutely nothing to the table in terms of sexual attraction. Whereas a guy who's in the just be friend zone, maybe there's a chance to recover from that. But I'll tell you what, if a woman ever says to somebody else in reference to you, oh, him, he's harmless. First of all, that's going to hurt majorly, isn't it? Second of all, she's most likely talking to a guy who she's attracted to and who she hopes will ask her out, but you just happen to be there and he's asking what you mean to her. Well, the answer is nothing much. You're simply a fly in the wall for these conversations amongst those women who are tolerating you, letting you be around, while meanwhile, they're much more attracted to the men they notice who can bring the safety and security rather than simply violating safety and security. So let's land the plane here. Attractive masculinity that provides and protects is proactive. If women are feeling uneasy, if women are feeling fearful, when you show up, you lift that fear off of them. That's the kind of sexual energy, gentlemen, that masculine energy that makes women horny, that stimulates their feminine energy. Remember, masculinity and femininity are the catalysts of sexual attraction. They polarize each other to create horniness between a man and a woman. Meanwhile, if you're simply a guy who avoids making women feel creeped out, avoids making them feel like they want to leave, great, you're not going to be kicked out. Probably the only zone worse than the just be harmless zone is the just be creepy zone. So if women are absolutely repulsed by you and don't want to be around you at all, you know what, that's worse. But do not ever confuse the just be harmless zone for a failure of masculinity in the way women define it to actually perk a woman's sexual interest up. There's no question what the difference is between them. Gentlemen, proactively make women feel safe and comfortable. Be an agent of safety and security, and women will be horny. Simply stay away from making them feel unsafe, and you will have done nothing proactive to create sexual energy on the part of a woman. That is the difference between being harmless and being a man who makes women feel safe and secure, and therefore attracted to him. Want to talk about this or anything else? Scott at mountaintoppodcast.com. Be good out there.
As always, visit mountaintoppodcast.com for more.